luxury lifestyle is all around us. From supercars and private jets to fine dining, jewellery and fashion. High-end global brands set the benchmark quality and experience that their ultra-elite clientele demand, but none more so than the ultimate symbol of luxury possessions, the superyacht. Inside Superyachts explores some of the greatest yachts on the planet, delving into a discreet and exclusive industry, accessible only to the wealthiest of individuals. These luxurious vessels are some of the most incredible feats of technology, engineering and design ever seen. From smaller bespoke sailing yachts, colossal steel and aluminium motor yachts, and through to the futuristic, eco-friendly hybrid innovations sailing our seas today. The term superyacht first began to appear at the beginning of the 20th century, when wealthy individuals started constructing large private yachts purely for personal pleasure. But it was not until 1997 that the industry exploded in a big way, with pop culture appropriating the yacht as an element, if not criteria, of the ultimate luxury holiday experience. Today, the global superyacht industry has an annual turnover of $27 billion. Whilst 2008 marked a slow decline in the demand for luxury yachts, a market perk-up in 2011 has seen the industry re-emerge stronger and bigger than ever, with multiple launches from the world's top yacht builders. To the untrained eye, a yacht's exterior design can sometimes overshadow the magnificence of its structural build and engineering, the extravagant and opulent furnishings drawing the eye away from the craftsmanship and design of the vessel itself. So who are the titans behind these giants of the sea, built and created for millions upon millions of dollars? One country emerges atop any list: the Netherlands. The Dutch were already leading the way in yacht design as far back as the 16th century, when the Dutch Navy built fast, lightweight designs to pursue pirates. Today, they continue to produce some of the finest and largest superyachts in the world. Arguably the most famous and universally accepted as the #1 custom yacht builder is Feadship Yachts.
Feadship as a brand started right after World War II by 6 small Dutch shipyards, and my family was one of those 6. At the moment there are still 2 companies active in Feadship, that is the De Vries shipyard, of which I'm one of the owners, and the Royal Van Lent shipyard, which is our partner in Feadship. And the culture of the company was founded in the early 20th century. Both shipyards that make up Feadship are each of them over 100 years old. And we built only pleasure craft. Many other shipyards built commercial boats or military, but we built only yachts. Great-grandfather started with small wooden and steel boats. My grandfather went to steel and aluminium. The generation that made the company large in the 60s and 70s of the 20th century built mostly in steel and sometime in aluminium, and now we're all over the spectrum. Materials we use in construction for these yachts, typically steel for the hulls, aluminium for the superstructures, a bit of composite, a bit of fiberglass, a bit of high-tech carbon fiber, depending a little bit on the projects that we do. We tend to use all aluminium and composites on the lighter weight craft. That has mostly to do with the efficiency, because a lighter boat is the same as a lighter car. A lighter boat goes easier through the water, you need less power, you need to carry less fuel, the whole thing is more efficient. Disadvantage of lighter, of course, is that it has a tendency to move more in the water. But that you can overcome, first of all, by design. And then if Feadship builds a light boat, it is still not very light. A Rolls-Royce is also made out of aluminium and it's not a light car. So there you go.
A superyacht is defined by length, and so to earn the term super, a yacht must be over 24 meters, roughly the length of a tennis court. The average superyacht today rests anywhere between 50 and 80 meters, but increasingly, many are heading past the 100-meter mark. In 2015, Feadship launched their largest yacht to date, Motor Yacht Symphony, which measures an incredible 101.5 meters.
Feadship yachts are invariably relatively large. The average size at the moment is 200 feet, is about 60 meters. That's the median. The smallest we do nowadays are between 20 and 30 meters, but that's becoming quite rare because the attention of detail that we put in the big boats almost negates the possibility to do something cost efficient in smaller size. We've built a lot of yachts, altogether more than 2,000, but that is if you count everything including sailboats and wooden rowboats and things like that. If you narrow it down to boats over 80 feet long, 25 meters, which is typically how we define the market nowadays, then you come to several hundred still. That makes us by far the largest builder of superyachts in the world. Because they're all custom, we have the need for an in-house design powerhouse, you can call it. We employ 100 engineers and designers and draftsmen. 100 that design nothing but Feadship yachts. When you build these large motor yachts, you run the risk that you focus too much on the product and that you get all excited about the technology or the design or what the product can do. But that's not actually what we sell. What we sell is the experience of enjoyment of these things. It's nice if you make a combination of the experience in providing the ultimate service together with providing the ultimate thing that you do the service on. And if the thing then has to move, it's got to be a Feadship. Because we're the only ones who have done it so many times and who know so much about the intricacy of combining technology, materials, and beauty of finish and comfort in a package that works and is easy to maintain. And I think that's where the experience comes in. My favorite example about experience counts, which used to be a tagline of the brand, is that my average worker at this moment is about 40 years old, which is relatively young for a production company. The average worker is 40 years old. The average worker starts with Feadship when he's about 18. Because these are guys coming out of, mostly guys, a few girls, coming out of trade school. So my average worker has 22 years of experience. Each facility in Feadship produces about 2-3 boats per year. Let's say 2. That means my average worker has 22 times 2, 44 boats of experience. There's nobody in the world that even comes close to that.
Feadship are renowned for their sleek designs and often revolutionary concepts. Motor yacht Lady May is no exception, with a groundbreaking use of glass and extraordinarily large windows to offer panoramic views for its guests. Custom built and launched as Motor Yacht Como in 2014, with the sleek, sophisticated exteriors designed by Dubois Naval Architects, Lady May is 46.2 meters long and capable of 19 knots flat out, with a cruising speed of 14 knots. With accommodation for up to 8 guests in 4 cabins, this yacht is the epitome of superb craftsmanship and beautiful innovation.
Everybody asks me, what's your favorite boat? Well, certainly not one. And it's like having a very large family. which of your children and cousins and nephews is the nicest? Of course I have my favorites. And the favorites are either groundbreaking. Venus is a very good example because it was all aluminium on that scale, which had never been done before. It was glass on a scale that had never done before, and it's very controversial, which is what I enjoy. Because to build a run-of-the-mill boat, you can do that for only so long and then you're history because nobody recognizes you anymore. So you have to do something revolutionary every few years.
Fairy tales have cradled our dreams ever since we can remember, with princes and princesses and enchanted love stories filled with castles, riches and treasure. The Principality of Monaco is as close to the fairy tale dream as one can get in the 21st century. Situated along the south coast of France, nestled between Nice and the Italian border, Monaco has never failed to captivate and enchant. Ever since Grace Kelly became their princess in 1956, we have been fascinated by their royal family, their glamour and glitz, and seemingly unattainable lifestyle. In the 19th century, the opening of the Monte Carlo casino spurred economic development, along with its new railway connection to Paris. This upscale gambling spot turned the Principality into a recreation centre for the wealthy. In 2014, roughly 30% of the population was made up of millionaires. It is little wonder then that some of the most beautiful yachts in the world choose to dock in Monaco. Port Hercule is a natural bay at the foot of the ancestral rock of the Princes of Monaco, and it is one of the few, if not only, deep water ports of the French Riviera. The port was constructed by Prince Albert I in 1901, but was not fully completed until 1926. Modernization and substantial improvements in the 1970s opened up the port to the ever-growing superyacht set. The port can accommodate up to 20 superyachts, from 35 to 60 metres, and space for 2 yachts up to 100 metres. With such fantastic harbour facilities on the doorstep of one of the most desirable locations in the world, it is unsurprising that Monaco became host to the greatest yacht show of them all. Launched in 1991, the Monaco Yacht Show was originally intended to be a simple yacht broker show, where industry professionals could meet with clients, network, and display their yachts. As the superyacht industry itself grew, so too did this humble event, turning it into one of the glitziest and most glamorous events of the year. No longer just for yachty types, but for luxury in general, you can now pick up anything from a new supercar, private helicopter, or diamonds worth millions. The annual 4-day event welcomes in excess of 35,000 visitors who come to visit over 550 different exhibitors and the 125 superyachts on display. With a total of 28% of the nautical market in attendance, including shipyards, manufacturers, designers, and superyacht toy companies. One such company is Triton Submarines.
We got started because we finally found a person, a customer, who believed in the idea of a sub on a yacht. And I had renderings of what we wanted to build, but it took that person, taking a leap of faith and believing that we could convert these beautiful renderings that we had into an actual working sub. Well, the submarine actually is an electric vehicle, so there's no engines as such. There are thrusters, there are electric motors, but the submarine is entirely powered by a bank of lithium iron phosphate batteries. I would say that it's because of the advances that have been made in materials technology, things like batteries, electronics, and things of that nature that's now made it possible for us to produce a submersible that you can put onto a yacht and know that a person who doesn't necessarily have a PhD degree in whatever can safely and effectively operate and maintain it.
The average Triton submarine can accommodate a pilot and 2 passengers and can reach depths of up to 3,300 feet. But it is not just the fabulously wealthy who get to enjoy these incredible machines. Film companies, scientists and explorers have long been fans of submersibles for the opportunities they allow for extensive exploration and discovery.
There's lots of different reasons why submersibles are critical for the work which we undertake. For scientists, they provide you with the most extraordinary platform. It's an unparalleled platform for observation. And scientific inquiry begins with observation. And to be able to take submersibles down into the deep ocean with a submersible like this, your view and your visibility is absolutely extraordinary. So that enables you to be able to understand the connectivity of the environment that you're operating in, which is absolutely key. If you go down with some of the older school submersibles, they have little portholes, so you're kind of looking through that. So that's all you can see. And if you're using a robot as well, again, you're just looking down a lens, so you don't necessarily see what's going on all around you. When you're down at about 500 meters, you've got the equivalent pressure of 2 jumbo jets resting on your head. If you're down at full ocean depth, so 11,000 meters down, then you've got the equivalent of 50 jumbo jets resting on your head. So in this submersible, the acrylic, which is what forms your pressure hull, is 75 millimeters thick. So it's strong enough to withstand 2 jumbo jets crushing down on top of you. Just to give you some sort of sense, you can probably see just how clear it is all the way through. You can see me all the way through. And the actual width of the acrylic on this submersible behind me is 75 millimeters, so it's about that kind of thick. So you can really get a sense of just how clear the acrylic is.
People often think that there's not only not much to see, but because it's dark, it's really can't be that interesting. But when you turn these powerful lights on that are on the front of the submarine and you essentially create sunlight down there, the colors, the animal life, it's different than what you see in shallow water, but it's fantastic because these are animals that have evolved to live in the deep ocean. So they have really unique characteristics that make them not only interesting to see, but I think exciting. We've had the good fortune to work with a number of film companies and be participants in some great documentaries. The Discovery Channel and NHK did a documentary in 2012 where we filmed the giant squid in one of our Triton 3303s. That was a very exciting moment for the company. Up until that time, this elusive animal had never been filmed in its own environment. And it was a goal of virtually every scientist to see one in the flesh, as it were. And not only did we see one, we filmed it for 22 minutes from 680 meters to 930 meters, which was really unprecedented.
Here in Monaco Yacht Show, the buyer of these submersibles tends to be owners of yachts. People who've got a lot of money. For us, that is fantastic. We're a huge supporter of that because you can actually adapt these submersibles for science and for filming. Fundamentally, the future of the ocean is going to be dependent on more and more people getting into the ocean and witnessing it, exploring it, understanding what is happening, its health, its function, and its resilience. So we need all the support that we can get. And we need the people who come to Monaco to look at these submersibles and think, actually, yes, these are useful tools. They're great fun. You can go down and be the first person ever to see something on our planet. And how often do you ever get a chance to do that?
What we're finding, what we're seeing now is there's been a sea change. When I first used to hang my shingle up at boat shows, people laughed at the idea of a submarine on a yacht. But now, with a few people now having purchased subs and now talking about what the experiences are like and how exciting it is to have a sub, what you're seeing is a real interest now amongst buyers of yachts in not just buying a sub, but buying a yacht that specifically can support a sub, because it's the sub that gives them the opportunity to have these fantastic experiences. And so I see a lot more yachts with subs in the future, not just because that's what I do, because I build subs, but because I think it's a fantastic way to see one of the most incredible places on Earth.
Whether you prefer to spend your leisure time above or below sea level, there is no doubt that there is a whole world of uncharted waters out there just waiting to be explored. Join us next time as we go inside super yachts.